Yo, 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 what's going on? It's Terrell, Hall of Fame, D-Line, TBKC, and this is Bully Rants. First of all, I know this one is going to be somewhat controversial. I really don't care. It's realistic, and as a dog man, I pride myself on giving you a true perspective of what goes on in my mind, and a lot of our minds, and how things should be. Dax. A lot of people have talked about Dax, the legacy of Dax, what Dax was, and more recently, a video has been passed around of what Dax actually looked like, not in that one picture that they always use of him. And in the video, I mean, you can see the obvious issues, and a lot of the obvious issues have to deal with the fact that the dog rear end was up to here. I mean, it's no doubt his rear end was up to there, and let me stop talking with my hands, but it's hard for me. But his rear end was very high, back was very unlevel, horrible rear end movement, breathing issues, amongst other things. Obviously, the dog was not a show quality dog. The ABKC basically sold out, and they created the extreme class, which we went over many times. That the extreme class was basically a class that was created to pretty much make screwed up dogs allowable in the ring so that they didn't have to be turned away. Later on, the ABKC erased that class, so to speak, but that's a whole different topic about what happened after that. But in my opinion, and I'll say in my educated opinion, Dax just basically should have never been bred. It's that simple. Now, if you ask me, have I seen some nice dogs off of Dax? Absolutely. I've seen some dogs off of Dax that I love. Now, this dog is rumored to have up to 3,000 puppies or more. To put those kind of bad genetics into a gene pool, searching for one or two traits, which obviously one of the traits that you search for when you use Dax blood is he throws this monstrous neck and a lot of girth throughout the shoulder area. That those are two of his calling cards. But you have to think about this. You're looking for a couple qualities, a little extra bully, a little extra neck, and you're going to put in obvious breathing issues, which, unfortunately, Dax didn't live to be the oldest of dogs, dying at 5 or 6 years old himself, I do believe. And it was from a cardio situation. They said he overheated, but whatever the case may be, the dog didn't have longevity. The dog's rear end was horrible. It was horrific. Throughout the years, one thing we have come to know in this community is that a lot of the Dax dogs do have hip and rear end issues just in general. Let's not stutter about it. The hips and the high rear issues, of course, which always lead to the bad top line. I could go on for days to tell y'all how this translates going forward with a dog, where if a dog has a high rear, a lot of times because of the weight shift, it's more stress on the dog's elbows. So you tend to see the dog's form change in the front end as he gets older too, to more pop out the elbows. But irregardless, throughout the years, I've known of whole litters having to be put down for heart murmurs. I've known of whole litters having major issues with their hips from Dax. I've known his kids to pass it on in many different ways, and some of his kids don't. But the reason why this is a major lesson in breeding, and I know some people will get offended because they have Dax blood and they live by it, but the truth of the matter is that we could have went a better way. It is never a great idea to breed a dog that is hugely flawed up for popularity reasons. As breeders, we should be breeding away from these qualities. I don't care if you only have one or two very likable qualities about a dog, then why the hell would you breed to it? The influx of Dax blood into the American bully community is a large reason for why we have the issues that we have. If you look at the major issues in the American bully community today, you have breathing issues and cardiovascular issues, you have hip issues, you have high rears and weak rears, and these are a lot of Dax's dogs. And dogs that came along like Dax because we care more about making freaks instead of breeding a conformation. You should never, ever, ever, use a dog like this based simply off of hype to call yourself making something. And I'll put it to you like this. And y'all excuse me if I sneeze because allergies is rough. But this is the logic that I hear people say. Okay, I'm going to take the Dax and I'm going to put him to this clean female because she going to clean up something. Well, what you've done is, in a sense, is you've put the 50% of the things that you like about Dax into a bitch. But you've also put the 50% of the bad shit, like the hips and these different things, into these puppies from the bitch, right? So now you have, in order to get down to 25%, you have to do another breeding. In order to get down to 12.5%, you have to do another breeding. The most acceptable percentage, I would say, you would never want to be over 10% of a bad flaw in your gene pool. And I really would like it lower than that. But you would have to do another breeding. So you're talking about literally doing 4 generations of breedings just to get 1 or 2 traits, and then you're going to fight to try to somehow keep those traits in on your program, and at the same time get rid of the debilitating, and I do mean debilitating. Hips are debilitating. I'm not making this up. I can name you 3 people who've had to put their Dax offspring down before they were 2 years old because the hips were so horrible that the dogs could not continue on. I don't have a stake in this. I don't make money off of talking about the dogs that are bad. I don't make money about pointing out things like this. As honest as I can be, I've always sold my dogs cheaper than everybody else. Not because I couldn't charge more, because I'm here for the dogs. So if they get to talking this stuff about, oh, they just hating on Dax and all, it's not a hate. This is a reality. The dog had horrible conformation, had hip issues, had breathing issues. If they are arguing this, they are arguing because they are arguing to protect their investment, not to breed. I'm here for the breed. Bottom line, Dax, y'all wanted my opinion on it, was not a good dog to breed. He was actually not a good breeding tool. I consider a breeding tool as a dog that might have a slight flaw that we won't have to move heaven and earth for to make a better dog. This dog had a lot of issues. Yes, some people got lucky and produced some beautiful dogs. But the one thing about it is, for a dog to have thousands of puppies, they can only show you a few great examples of what he's produced. And even some of those dogs are still producing the same flaws that we worry about. So percentages would tell you that it's a whole lot of shit that's been hid because it's a whole lot of shit that didn't work out. You know, we must do better if we're going to make our breed what it's supposed to be. Breed to the standard, breed healthy dogs. I am Terrell. I'm out. I will catch y'all next time. TBKC, we are coming strong. Y'all make sure y'all come in there and support us. We supporting this community. No, Dax is not banned from the TBKC. Only 2 dogs' blood has been banned, and we'll go into that at different times, but that is Miyagi and Bullseye. If you have those dogs in your pedigree, you cannot register, but you can register as an activity dog, which is a weight pool dog or any of the other events, just not confirmation of the American Bully Standard. But God bless y'all. It is the 4th of July as I record this, so God bless all of you and your families. I wish nothing but, you know, prosperous weekends to everyone who's celebrating the holidays for whatever reason. God bless. Peace.